Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Who's That Anime with your hosts Steve and Colin. I'm off centered like I have been for the last week. And I don't mean my political views,
Just slightly skewed.
just slightly skewed. Yeah.
Slightly skewed. It's fine.
Um, it's all right. We're back again to brighten your ear holes with talk about Gantz, the happiest anime there is.
I don't like that.
What, saying it's the happiest anime there is?
No, we're back again to brighten your ear holes. That's now the episode title. Anyway, moving on. Um, hi, yeah, you're right. We're back to talk about Gantz, the happiest anime. Today we're going to talk about episodes 13 and 14. What's interesting about that is that episode 13 is the last episode of season 1, and episode 14 is the first episode of season 2. So, to start with, as we did forget to do this the last time, fortunately, in circumstances where it wasn't quite as impactful, I would like to put a content warning on this episode. Not just for violence, but there's some language used to describe people in the LGBTQ plus community that is not particularly pleasant. I'm going to say the word when it's referenced. So like be aware. It is as we've said before, this show seems to have like a few interesting views about things. For something that's only 20 years old, you might believe it was older. So yeah, just a warning to stop listening if that's not going to be your bag. Totally understand. But we are going to cover some of that stuff today. So
Yes, and I'm withholding.
Yeah. It's we could talk about the confusion around that, which is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to start today by talking about episode 13 with the happy-go-lucky title of Please Die.
Oh, the happiest of titles.
The happiest of titles.
The happiest of titles. Yes. So, last episode we ended with Kay staring down into the back of a big black bird. Muscle bird. Yep. Saying, "Oh, final boss, here we go," and pretty much shitting himself. To be honest,
I mean, to be fair, I get it.
Yeah,
it's a big chicken.
Yeah, and he's should have noted there was a note on the door when they went in. It said something like inquire about our hot wings or something like that.
Yes, that's right. So there was. Ironic, since most of them don't have wings.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
Maybe.
Yeah. They just sold not to keep affording the rent.
This bit is pretty good though, because of course this thing is just stood at the end of sat crisscross applesauce in front of this static television.
As far as we can tell, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like stood in this corridor with 6 of these guys around him, all going, Yuzo-kun, Yuzo-kun, and he's like, please stop calling me Yuzo-kun. I don't know who Yuzo-kun is.
Yeah. And then he goes, I am Yuzo-kun, thank you.
Yeah. And then they go like, oh, amazing, and just start talking about everything and anything.
Yeah. It's like something about the watermelon and stuff like that. It's so good. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, that bit where he goes ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
That's kind of amazing. And of course, the little birdies are around his feet now. And one of them has made its way slowly up onto his shoulder. Mm-hmm. And of course, they're all happy now because he's said, "I'm Yuzo-kun," and it just like grabs the skin on his neck and starts pulling it away. And it's like, oh my god, that just looks so painful. and he's holding it in
Yeah,
so desperately.
it is. Then he picks it up and then puts it on the ground, and then they get upset, and then they calm down
Yeah.
again,
Yep.
and then he's like, "Okay, cool, just go out and make it and shoot this guy."
Yeah,
And
just need to walk through this crowd of like maybe mildly frustrated Suzukis.
yeah, and then he walks along and steps on a bird,
Yep.
and now they're even more pissed.
Yep.
And the black
He
bird turns.
he doesn't kill it. He just
Yeah.
like kind of goes like, "Oh crap," and like slowly moves his foot off and kind of gives it a little pat on the head.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fine. He's gonna be okay.
But he's going, ah, ah. And then the black bird just kind of turns around and is like, oh.
Yeah.
And then it's just like a big muscle bound
It
bird.
is.
It's ripped. It's like
It's jacked.
the old Arnie of
Of Conan the Barbarian level.
yeah,
Jacked.
yeah.
It is funny though, because when obviously it's been sitting at this television, so we haven't really been able to get a true sense of its scale. But then it stands up and turns round, and it's like, oh, it has to duck to get under the doorway. Oh god.
And squeeze its body through it.
Oh
Wow.
no. Oh, it's
Yeah.
so big.
It's insanely big.
Yes.
And it kind of comes up to him, and they kind of look at him. And I think are they?
Well, they're all getting kind of mad and opening their mouths,
Yeah.
and he goes like and he's just like, he goes, now's the time, and he like rams the gun under its chin and like underneath its beak.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, nobody move, or I'm gonna blow this guy's head off. And he's like,
then they move.
Then they move, and he goes like, oh, okay, and pulls the trigger, and the bird just goes whoop.
Yeah.
Point blank range, the bird manages to avoid being shot underneath the beak.
Yeah. And then he just
It's rather impressive.
Then he just like lets out a volley at everyone. Boo, 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 boo,
Yeah.
boo, boo. And then they all come in again to take him down, and then the building floor collapses and stuff, and he's like, yeah, I did it, and then ran away, because he's all this time he's like, I ain't going to die here, and
his running out of the front door is quite funny, because obviously he like when he fires all of that, there's this wait, as there was in the garage with the other Suzukis. It's like, oh god, did it not work? Why is it not working? And then all of a sudden the whole building is falling apart. He's falling through the floor, and he's like running, going like just trying to get to the front door. It's pretty great.
I think he goes, yes, I did it, and then he's like,
Yeah.
Then he looks up and goes, ah, shit, and then
shit.
runs, and the building's starting to collapse.
Oh, it's so good.
And like before, and like with the onion alien, he can't. No one sees him, but everyone sees the building fall down. So they're all like,
Yeah.
"What the hell's happened here?"
There's a guy just looking out the window, going, "What's that noise?
Yeah,
That's weird."
and then he's like, "Yeah, I did it. I got the boss." And
Yep.
by this time, Kato and Hojo and female Kate arrive, and they go,
Yep.
Nope, timer's still going. And then whoosh, the ass biker.
His name is Haruya.
Haruya is whisked away in the wings of the big black bird, picked him up, and then just kind of flying over the houses, and then it just plucks his head off.
Yeah, it just pops.
Yeah. And then the head just goes boom, 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 and then it rolls down this roof with this guy looking out the window at the collapsed building.
Oh,
going,
God.
Huh? What's that?
Of course, there's now a crowd outside that building as well, going like, what's going on? Why did the building collapse?
Yeah. And no one sees the decapitated head. Except them. So it's like, oh, all right, okay. Then it kind of just lands down and folds its wings up and just kind of like stares at Kato.
Yeah. No, it wants K.
Yeah,
so they're all like, yeah, it wants him, and Kato's like, oh god, it wants him. It's like, quickly try to distract it, and like Hojo gets batted a million feet away.
Yeah, but it's more. It just kind of lands down, folds its wings up,
Oh
and
yeah.
looks friendly at that point. Like
Uh,
it's got its grievances out by decapitating.
Decapitate that dude.
Yeah, and then it like looks around and goes, "You're the guy." I think this goes on a mad rampage again, and
Oh
essentially
god.
goes after Kane, grabs him by the arm, takes him
Yep.
away.
Oh, it's like got him up at the shoulder and then in the hand, and it's like, oh, this is awful.
Yeah, it's got him on the shoulder, flies up into the sky, way high in the sky, and he grabs his leg as well. So he's kind of like shooting horizontal all over the place.
Well, legitimately, at one point, I thought it was like I was trying to remember if he just like gets wishboned.
No,
It's like, oh god, this is bad. But he's a smart one, Kay, because he's trying to shoot it and he's not getting anywhere. But fortunately, he has enough reach to like it has like this bird has like an air pipe going into its mouth, and presumably like that is how it's breathing, because of course we've talked about the Suzuki robots and the birds being able to get out but then dying while they're out of
Yeah.
their suits for a period of time. So he
yeah,
like grabs the pipe and rips it out its mouth, and the air or whatever it is it's breathing is like bursting out of it. So it
Yeah.
starts to get lower to the ground, and his grip lessens.
hmm and then let's Kay's let loose and falls.
Yep.
And but while he's falling, he shoots the head off it.
Yeah, he's like, now is the time. Bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang.
Yeah, and then he lands on the roof and tumbles down.
It's like in midair, he's like, come on, Gantz. And it's like, not yet.
Yeah, very much. And then Kato chases him, and he goes, "Kay, you alright? You alright?" And then he's like, I seem to be okay somehow."
It's like, yeah, somehow I'm alive.
Yeah.
And then is it the biker who's like, what happens now? And all of a sudden he starts getting transported. He's like, oh god, back in this room again.
Yeah.
Because his head's starting to reappear in the room.
Yeah. And then they'll get transported back.
Yep.
Even the dog.
So, even the dog. And also Sadako, who is also there.
Yep.
So no young kid, no grandma. Obviously one of the bikers was dead before he arrived.
He's cleaned up. He's not there anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, Hojo. I just did a Simpsons quote. Hojo notices that. He's like, "Oh, that's really weird. Someone's cleaned up in here because there was a headless corpse."
Yeah. A lot of mess as well.
Yeah, a lot of mess, and it's all gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, the obviously, everyone else seems to have survived somehow. Oh no,
Yeah.
Nishi, of course.
Yeah. And then they go, all right, can I leave now? It's like, oh, we got the scoring first.
I like that Kishimoto's like, no, scores first.
Yeah.
We need to do the scores.
Yeah.
And who's up first?
Dog.
Dog, no points. And the dog goes, oh,
Yeah. Sad again.
sad dog, no points.
Yeah.
And then we go to Kato, who also gets no points.
No, he gets
Five
five.
points?
Yeah, but I think there's Tenshu. No, he's last. Who? Yeah. Kato gets like 5. He gets some points. 'Cause he killed one.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, Kato gets 5 points. And
Yeah.
then Hojo and Kishimoto get 10 points each because they've killed one each.
2.
Sorry, 2 each. Yeah, sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
And of course they've called Kishimoto gets called Miss Melons again. She's like, this Miss Melons again.
Yeah. Some of the along those lines. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's me. And then they this is as we've warned about. They refer to Hojo as the fag, and
Yeah.
it's like and then there's a whole conversation about whether he's gay or not. He's like, I'm not gay. And they're like, yeah, okay.
It's not a cigarette.
No. Yeah, as you said to me before we started recording this, it's like, I thought they meant a cigarette. It's like, I know you're joking, but... but yes, a fag in the UK is also a cigarette, if you haven't heard that before.
A ciggy.
Yeah, that was not the intent.
Yeah.
Used in this circumstance. So, but he does in fact get 10 points. And then we go to Kay, who's going to be called the errand boy.
Yeah.
And he gets 38 points. I was trying to calculate this.
Oh, it's because he got a couple of points in last time as well. He got points.
Is it his tally?
Yeah, I think.
Does it not give you... Does it give you your new total and not how many you got in that round?
Yeah.
Okay, so but he killed those 6
Yeah.
in the building, which should be 30.
Uh-huh.
And then he also sent the first one home, which should be more points.
That'll be 35.
Would it be 35 though? Because the other thing is he did kill the boss as well, which would be 5.
I don't know. He killed the. Well, I suppose he squished them all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
because they're not on the radar. We couldn't end the scenario.
No,
couldn't end this.
He got 0
in the first one.
In the first one.
Yeah. So, so that means, to me, the way this works is he killed the 6 in the building, which would be 30 points. He killed the main boss with the headshot, which would be 35, which means you get 3 points for sending it home.
Oh, maybe. Maybe, man. Aye. And then Tetsu got, I don't know, 1:0.
Yeah. Why did he get that?
I don't know, because he wasn't very good.
He got something.
I don't know what he got. I don't think he got anything, to be honest. I think that was just kind of like a scale.
Yeah. He felt aggrieved. And then it also says Sadako. It's like, who the hell is that? He's like, oh, that.
Yeah.
She's like hanging back at the doorway again.
Yeah.
She also got 0 points.
Yep.
So.
And then they leave.
Yeah, the door's open and they can get the fuck out of here.
Tetsu's like, yay! I get to go. And then they're out in the street and they kind of just running away and Tetsu's like, yay! I'm free.
He's free of his mates as well.
Yeah. And then they basically say, oh, we should see you next time.
Yeah.
In a couple of days.
It seems. And that's the end.
And that's the end of that one, yeah.
And that's the end of season 1.
Yeah. Tetsu's all happy and free.
So, what do you rate that one, Colin?
It was good, man. I like the kind of the final fight. I also like the wee happy Tetsu, man.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta love that.
Kay's is more impressed with Milky. You see her in her face. So, oh,
that's right.
He's actually doing something. Wow.
Yep.
And yeah. Oh, I don't know. That's still probably a 7 for me, man.
I'm gonna stick with an 8. I think it's a strong episode to end the season on. I think the fight sequence at the end is pretty good.
Yeah.
Some good little character moments and little bits of levity with the humor, particularly the bit where he's trying to like walk through the corridor of Suzuki's and like accidentally standing on the bird and try to keep them happy is quite funny. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we move on to season 2 and episode 14 with our episode titled Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So this is downtime time.
Yeah, this is the kind of culmination of a few things. So we kind of follow everyone's lives, or not everyone, because I don't think we see much of Hojo or Sadako in this episode. It mostly revolves around Kei and Kishimoto, Kato and his brother, and
Tetsu.
Yeah.
So it's just should also mention Kei essentially asks if Kato is living alone or not.
Yeah.
And he's
no,
I'm living with relatives looking for a brother. It's like, alright, okay.
Why would you ask that? And says, no particular reason.
Yeah. Yep.
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
So I think we do go to I think it's Kato arriving home, isn't it?
I think you got Tetsu under a bridge firing his gun.
Oh yeah, just at the wall for no reason.
Yeah, so he's smuggled one of the guns out, and he's like, ho, I got this thing, and boo, 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 and go, boo, 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 boo. It's like, excellent. And he calls the guy and says, I got something for you. And he's like, all right.
It's
cool.
a toy.
Yeah.
It's a toy.
Well, yeah, basically it ends up with saying it's a toy, and then it doesn't do anything. And then he hands it back. He's like, oh, it doesn't? All right, cool. Then you won't need the money I got to give you anyway. So,
no,
goodbye.
You'll be dead soon. So
yeah. He says, what? And then he fires the gun and blows him up.
He also uses the gun to cut his body up.
Yeah,
so he can throw it into the river.
Yeah, so, they're next to the river, yeah, so he just...
Which is wild.
Yep. Yeah, he kind of returns home to his wife, or...
She's not happy with him.
Nope. And he said, oh, I'm going to get more money soon. We can move into a bigger house. And it's like, what are you on about? You've lost your job, and you're just... What were you doing last night? You're fucking around, and I was like, it's complicated, I can't tell you. And he pulls a gun on her.
He does, and she then says it's like, what, a toy? And you're like, please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't.
And then the baby cries. Because I think he also says, why are you breastfeeding it? It's like, you never brought
That's
me milk.
right. He's trying, and he's like, oh, why are you doing that? It's like, because my no good husband never brings home milk. You're like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And that's how they got into the fight. And then...
Yep. He leaves.
He kind of leaves. And then he's at the... He's in a park. I'm just going through it.
Well, I guess, well, probably just easier to actually go through each character's stories rather than do it in the cadence of the story, because it just jumps all over the bloody place. So
yeah, so this one here is... He kind of is at the park, and he's got the biker gang that killed him earlier. Sent him to the place. And he's like, all right, I got this. And he's like, boo, 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 boo. He's going to shoot the gun, and then say, what's happening in Gantz? And then like, Gantz? What the hell's Gantz? And then he kind of gets shot. His head explodes because they were like...
his nose starts bleeding.
Yeah.
And he starts bleeding from his ears, and he's like, oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah. And then the phone rings because his wife says, oh, I'm actually lactating now. So then he goes,
I can feed our child. Come home immediately.
Yeah. And he's like, that's good. I'm not needed anymore.
And then his head explodes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And that's technically the end of the episode. But there's a lot more other bits in this one. We'll go into the Kato and his brother. I think Kato heads home. The aunt is fucking upside the kid's head, battering him about. Yeah.
Because he's muddied the ground or something like that, and she's like, he's wanting food, and he's just left dirt everywhere, and I'm gonna kill him now, and so she starts slapping him about the face, and Kato's like, no, don't. We talked about this. Don't do that. Please stop. And she just keeps doing it, and then he's like, absolutely not, and just like grabs her and throws her into a glass bookcase, or
Yeah.
like a display cabinet type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he says, don't do that, or I won't be able to stop, type thing.
Yeah, so I don't know what I'll not. And she's like, what is this? How dare you? And it's like, yeah, how dare he?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And he tells him to leave.
Yeah, and he's like, that's fine. We'll be going now.
Yep. So they leave, and then he's managed to rent a place out, I think.
Yeah, he says he's managed to save enough that they could stay for a little while. Like it's a good option.
Mm-hmm.
And they get in, and he's like, oh, but where are we gonna sleep? And he's like, oh, don't worry, I have a friend who has some futons. I just need to go and get them.
Mhm.
He's like, oh, I'll come and help you. And he's like, no, you can just stay and watch anime. And he's like, what?
All the day.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, and you can watch anime every day if you want. And his mind explodes. Not in the same way that Tetsu's did, but the kid's still alive.
Yeah.
But then he goes to pick up the futons, and it's not actually his from his friend. It's just I don't know whether he'd noticed them before or not, but they're basically two used futons that are out for pickup for the trash.
Yeah. No, he knew, because he's like, oh, good, they're still here.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, he did say that.
And then he found the brolly too, so he got the brolly.
That's right. He took the brolly, and of course, because the younger brother's umbrella got destroyed during the train debacle.
Instant. Yep.
So,
and I think that kind of...
Yeah, he carves his initials into it, and there is the bit where he's like, oh cool, you could rest now, and then there's just there's a scene where it's the next morning and the kid's been asleep, and Kato's just like just sat on the futon, just staring into space directly in front of the kid. He's like, have you been like that all night? It's like, I guess so.
Oh, I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, he's just sat on the futon staring, like, intently either at the child or beyond him.
Really?
Yeah.
Missed that bit.
I mean, it's a nothing bit. It's just it just made me laugh because I was like, wow, he is desperately in need of some rest.
Yeah.
But I think that's the whole story there with them. And the other part to it, as you mentioned, is Kei and Kishimoto.
Yeah. So they go back, and then female Kei is essentially talking about Kato all the time, which is also making male Kei quite infuriated and jealous, like, essentially. And she says, oh, I can cook for you if you want. We don't have to keep buying this, because I can cook a bit. It's like, oh, no, it's cool. It's alright. It's fine.
It's fine.
He was also... Milky was also on the phone to his mother and says, you still going to school? You're not skipping, and you need money. It's like, no, that's all good. And that's it. That's all you got from them. Yep. I think he goes to school.
Yep.
And female K is perusing in the bookstore. There's the thief.
Yep.
And she sees the biker chick from the couple episodes before, Sai, I think is her name.
I can't remember. Yeah, Karakano. I think. Oh, what the hell? Yeah, because she tells Kei about her later.
Yeah.
She's in to buy a book, something the Labyrinth.
Yeah, the Labyrinth. I think, which is maybe referring to some English novel, I think.
Oh, really?
I think so. I don't think it was a Japanese author.
Oh, yeah. It definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway.
it was a woman's name.
Yeah.
Somebody's the labyrinth.
Mariah Kelly.
Was it
No.
Kate Mose? Amanda Lore. There's loads of. If I type in Gantz, will that help?
Maybe.
Apparently, it will not.
Yeah.
Oh, Miranda Frost.
Miranda Frost. Sounds like a made up name.
It says there is a book called The Labyrinth by Amanda Frost in the anime, which is mentioned quite a lot. Let's see.
All right.
Does this book really exist, or is it a reference to a real book? Cool. I guess we'll never find out.
Guess you never will.
Damn.
Unless you know.
Doing that bit with The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Do you? It is stated that the Gantz creator was inspired by the book Time. Is that just generally for the? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, the book by Miranda Frost, The Labyrinth by Miranda Frost, which she goes in and checks for, but is still not available because it's only a first edition, and he's struggling to get a copy of it for her.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but female character goes, oh, she's pretty nice. And and then they go back. She's back into the apartment, and Milky's there, and she's like, "Oh, I saw this nice lady at the store today." Type thing. It's like, what? What are you saying? What is this?
Why are we talking about this?
Yeah, and he's getting more frustrated and stuff, and I think they go to bed in separate futons now. Got separate futons. And basically they have kind of like an argument. It's like, all I hear is Kato, 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 Kato.
Yep. Kato-kun, Kato-kun, Kato-kun.
Yeah. You're just using me, type thing, and it's kind of getting old. Because she's like, oh, but I find you're Kato-kun, but you're great too.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. No, I can't understand.
Maybe you're right. He utters the phrase, "You won't even let me touch you," which is maybe the grossest thing he's ever said. I mean, he said a lot of gross things, but...
Yeah, I mean, technically that's not true.
So, important to note, let would imply consent, and I feel like there's not really been a lot of that going with his relationship with her.
I suppose, yeah, that's true. I don't know. I wouldn't say.
No, I feel like she okayed a shoulder massage. She did not okay what she got.
No. I'm not saying that any of his actions are right.
Oh no, God, they're all terrible.
Yeah. I don't know. You're probably right. Probably would consent as thing, and then basically have picked rounds. Like, yeah, you're right. Okay, that's fine. I'll see you around. Bye.
Yeah, but just so you know, I do think you're great.
Yeah.
Anyway, see ya.
And then she's walked out and she's tied up the second futon.
Yep.
And he's a bit miffed.
Yep. Because he's alone.
Yeah. And then okay, that's the episode. There's multitudes of storylines. Yeah,
it's I think it's a good setup for the start to the second season. I definitely was pretty shocked about Tetsu. I think like the implication there is that of course he wasn't punished for taking the weapon.
No,
because if that had been the case, then he would have died when he killed that guy or shot up the bridge. But he did mention Gantz's name.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Who's that?" And he's like, "Oh, what is this, Gantz?" And it's like, I see. Maybe Gantz isn't so keen on people talking about Gantz outside of, that room.
It's possibly, yeah. Maybe.
It definitely feels like there's a thing here that suggests maybe that he obviously broke some sort of rule.
I thought he just misused the weapon, but then I'm thinking Nishi also used the weapon outside.
Yeah, Nishi was practicing killing. He was like trying to kill bigger animals.
Yeah.
And this guy had also like used the weapon too, and even Kato like took the suit
Yeah.
out of the room as well. So it seems like there's no punishment for taking equipment or anything like that. But
Yeah.
it certainly did feel like maybe mentioning Gantz's name was not the thing to have done
Yeah,
in
yeah.
those circumstances. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out maybe. How do you rate this one then?
This one, I suppose it's kind of backstory. I don't know. It's just kind of setting things up
Yeah,
more.
it's giving you what you need for the start to the second season.
Possibly. Yeah, yeah. I'll still say maybe a 7, man.
I think I'm probably back down to a 7. Like I think like it's still good. Like I think we're again we're we're building a bigger picture of the world and the rule set and the confines of like what we have here, and we're building up the characters. We're giving them more not just emotional investment with each other, but like emotional investment in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like because like Kato's now moved out. He's living with his younger brother, and like they have escaped the tyrannical rule of his aunt, and can
Yeah.
live without getting a beating. And like Tetsu thought he was into some money, and he felt like life was going to be better. They could move into a bigger place, and then like you have this kind of like, as you say, like his last words are like, I think I'm not needed anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's quite an acceptance of your fate.
Yeah.
It's just because it's weird because he seems like a guy very much driven by status and money, but also this kind of underlying current of being a human,
Mm-hmm.
like a more so like a kinder person, and he obviously has like some anger issues and things like that, but obviously like it feels like a very selfless thing where you're about to die and your last consideration is like, I'm glad I'm no longer needed, like
Yeah.
because this is okay because at least the kid will be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So like it's a weird send off for that character.
I don't know. I don't know if he is about status and money. He certainly was looking for it, but I think that's more in
In service of his family.
like pretty much everyone else. They look for money generally.
Yeah,
Just to
I
get
did.
by.
I didn't mean like he wanted to be like the big boss or anything like that, but he was like, when he had that weapon, he was like, "There's going to be some changes
Yeah.
around here."
But I think that's more meaning they're trying to provide for the family
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than be anything else. Even though power potential
Well,
will probably corrupt them.
the power in them. I don't know if it would corrupt. I think more so that you're probably right. Like the underlying current there is the power and the money were there to facilitate the safety of his family and himself.
Yeah,
Like
and
him being able to have like rule with an iron fist and be feared
yeah,
and have everything he needed to make sure that the family were okay were the most important things.
yeah. Oh, I don't know what's ruling his iron fist, but yeah, he certainly he certainly did have a argumental side, but then he was a bit of a hoodlum essentially. So
Yeah, he
it,
was
it's
he was a
portrayed
bad
as
guy.
I would say it's a bad guy.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that I think like what we've gone from is he's a biker. He's a biker who's got a complicated life because of his home life. But as you see, is like he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy in a situation where he feels like a bad guy. Like that's that the outward appearance is he's scum. He is the villain of many situations, and
he's looked down on. Yeah.
yeah, and that's not who he was, and it's not. I don't think it's who he wanted to be either.
No.
So it's a bit bittersweet his death, because I'm like, obviously the survival of the kid and stuff like that is good, and the the wife being okay and being able to provide for her son. But yeah, him, that being interesting, that his, like, it's like that the switch is flicked and it's like, oh cool, she could provide now, I'm surplus to requirement. So
yeah. I mean, that's the way it came over, but I think he was like, that's cool, I don't need to worry about them now.
no, totally, it was relief. It was like, because I'm gonna die, and the last thing I want to hear as I'm about to die is how much you need me right now, because I'm not going to be there.
Yeah. And then the other characters, they've progressed too. Kato has progressed, where also male K and female K has also progressed, where she felt she needed someone to survive, and essentially would do anything for that, and realised that she can actually do it herself. She's got that confidence, and male K's got that confidence of actually telling what he's actually thinking, rather than kind of backing down to say what he's thinking.
He was it's led to him being frustrated, but he told her how he felt, at the very least. And like, I think, as you say, like for Kishimoto, the whole thing is that we'd seen it in the previous episodes where she was starting to take an active role in what was happening and trying to not have to rely on other people, because she knows she's going to have to be able to rely on herself at some point.
Yeah.
So here she is. Doing that.
Yeah. So there's essentially built character from what they were in the first season, where they're kind of mopey and that, where everyone's kind of taking strides to take control of their lives, because even though they have no control over it, they'll always get sent back to this place until they get 100 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's a daunting task.
Yeah.
To know that you're going to be back there. I suppose it's interesting as well, because it's that not the fear of like continually having to go back. It's the fear of having to go back because you might not be able to go back more than once.
Yeah.
Because if you die, that's it. It's game over.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a relief in that. But it is what it is.
Character and confidence, man.
Yeah. So, with that, we've reached the end of the episode for today, and we'll be back next time to talk about more Gantz, episodes 15 and 16. So yeah, until then, you've been listening to Who's That Anime, an anime podcast about anime, which can be found where all good podcasts can be found. Our home is at anchor.fm/Who's That Anime. If you want to support us, leaving a review is a super cool way to do that. If you can't leave a review or already have left a review, telling a friend about the show so we can get some more listeners, that's also a great way to support the show. If you want to help us financially, you can at patreon.com/Who's That Anime. We have different tiers of patronage there where you can help support us. You can get early access to this show, to the Who's That Anime podcast. You can get episodes a week ahead of schedule, or you can even get early access to our other podcast episodes for our other show, 5 Minute Fusion, a journey through Dragon Ball, which is, we're getting near the end of Dragon Ball now, I think.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
We wrapped it up. We're going to release them, 3 times a week?
Wait, what?
I remember we were doing that, like, at the start. We're going to release it 3 times a week, but we're actually releasing it every day.
We were releasing it 2 times a week.
Oh, 2 times a week. Yeah.
It was Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then it was like, hey, that's never going to happen.
Yeah. How long do you want people to listen to? 100.
Yeah.
How many episodes?
It's 153 episodes. It was going to take
2 years.
A long time. It was going to take 1.5 years to finish the
Dragon Ball
series. Yeah, to finish Dragon Ball.
And then And then we'll go on to Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z, which is 257 episodes or something like that, or 269 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, it would last for a decade,
I
man.
mean, even at that, Dragon Ball is going to take a whole year.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, rather.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. But yeah, we're enjoying that journey. We would, if you're enjoying this, then maybe you want to join us in that one too.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/who's-that-anime. We post the latest releases there and some memes sometimes. We also have a Discord channel. You can find the link to that in the show notes. We're also on YouTube. That's where Colin painstakingly puts together the video versions of these episodes. That's at youtube.com/@who's-that-anime. You can also find all of the RSS feeds for this show and 5 Minute Fusion on there too. So if you like to listen to your podcasts on YouTube, you can do that too. Colin and I sometimes like to play video games. Colin at twitch.tv/couchfuel and myself at twitch.tv/hailpayman. And you can find the archives of those streams, if you're interested, at youtube.com by searching for @couchfuel or @hailpayman. And that's us.
Yeah, that's it. Another episode down. Tick.
Yep. That's we're now officially just over halfway. And we've finished episode 14. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. That's it. 12 episodes to go.
6 episodes to go.
6 episodes of the podcast to go, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Hope
looking forward to seeing how you feel this ends. So
how this feels ends. Everyone's dead, and it was all just a dream.
There's probably going to be a lot of death. That is almost a certainty.
JR, man.
No, it was not a dream.
It wasn't a dream.
It was not a dream. Nope.
No. No dreams.
No dreams. No dreams here.
No.
Well, I guess that's us.
Yep. I should probably say the stuff.
Yeah, say the stuff.
Say the stuff. Well, that's it. I'm saying the stuff. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Send things. Bye.
Send things. Let's see you. Bye.